Interesting hand job.
I'm your best chance for survival.
Can't believe I found the one good, truly decent man left on the planet.
When you're born and raised on the Lower East Side of New York City, and the world is chaotic, and I'm Latino, there is Afro-Latino in my family, you're dealing, I have a little facial paralysis that I got made fun of, so I got kicked around and bullied some. This combination causes you to have to make some decisions, you know, and my decision always was, because it was passed down to me by my mom, that I had to be happy. I had to find my happiness somewhere in this chaos, and that happiness could not exist with me completely on my own. No matter how beautiful a Tolkien's Lord of the Rings is, it's a book. I'm still going to be lonely when I close that book. I need to connect. We need to connect with each other if we're going to transcend the chaos and the violence. And so I decided that that's going to be what I do. That's my response to the chaos and afflictions and bullying that I experienced. Well, you know what? Guess what? I'm going to find a way to connect with you, and that narrative has always served me really well. Well, one of the positives that came out of living in adverse situations is the skill set of listening. To be able to disarm a potential conflict and get myself out of situations that could be harmful to me. I needed to be able to read people. And when I was able to tell what it is that you liked, what it is that you wanted to do, when I was able to learn that nobody listens to you, and maybe I can listen to you, I learned how valuable that dialogue can be, that listening can be. And as I got older and realized that all media was going to be two-way, but that no broadcaster really knew how to listen, that was what I brought to the table. Listen, a big media company, if you don't just read the data, read the box office, but if you actually ask your fans what it is that they're looking for, what it is that they like and don't like about your content, they're going to feel good about being able to tell you. They feel validated by that attention. And that creates a bond, that creates fans. And knowing how to create fans has been one of the greatest assets of Starlightrunner. My mom managed to figure out how to get us out of the projects and moved us to Flushing, Queens, which was to me like going out to the countryside. After I got there, I was curious because I wasn't immediately embraced. And the weird thing was, I didn't feel that I looked so different from everybody else there, but my last name seemed to cause some consternation with the Italian kids. It was like West Side Story or something like that. Gomez was not allowed to play with the white boys. And In fact, it was starting to escalate into a bullying kind of situation. I guess I was just really different. On top of all that, I was into imagination and Godzilla and early Japanese anime, these weird things. And there was one guy in the school, Amato, who was really tough. And people said, oh, he's like wild, he's dangerous, you know, you don't want to even go near him. And I was curious about him because I would look in his eyes and I would see something warm somewhere in there. Yes, he was alienated, I could tell. But I started to kind of observe him. And at a certain point, this is in grade school still, but he seemed, you know, older and tougher to me. One day I saw him playing with G.I. Joes in front of his house, and that I could figure out. I knew the G.I. Joe brand in fifth grade. I could tell you everything about G.I. Joe, and I started to like kind of mumble about it nearby while he was playing, and he looked up at me and he said, what are you talking about? And I go, well, this, and this, you know, about the toys. And he goes, yeah, here. And suddenly, I'm with the toughest guy in school playing G.I. Joes with him. And nobody bothered me ever again because we just kind of stand near each other in the schoolyard or in the park and so forth. And we wound up becoming fantastic friends. You know, and that was just a matter of listening, of observing, and then validating someone who other people had already made their minds about. Well, there were a few breaks. It's funny when life is unfolding. There rarely is that big snap moment. One of my breaks was in developing my own magazine off of desktop publishing in the 1980s, where I talked about storytelling from a gaming standpoint. The magazine was called Gateways, and we talked about how technology was making storytelling more and more interesting. Later on, a big break was that the comic book company I worked for, Valiant Comics, was purchased by Acclaim Entertainment, and because I understood gaming, I helped the comic book guys hook up with the video game guys, and I wound up producing Turok Dinosaur Hunter, the Nintendo 64 video game. Very, very successful. And then after I got my company, Starlightrunner Entertainment, and was able to develop stories across multiple media, I got called by James Cameron to work on Avatar, and that was a big difference. That changed everything for my company, and now we work with all kinds of Hollywood studios.